Australian gun grabbers target bolt-action rifles. That's right. You always hear about Australia and the UK and how they got rid of most of their guns and how their gun violence went significantly down, which is true. But the thing they always leave out, especially in the UK, they got rid of the guns, but they still have the knives, the bats, and yes, they have less gun-related incidents, but they have more stabbings, beatings with clubs and bats and whatever else. So let's take a look at this article. Following the Port Arthur massacre in Australia in 1996, the government banned all semi-automatic guns and launched a buyback program that cost taxpayers $500 million and resulted in the destruction of over 600,000 personal firearms. Following the ban, Australians began arming themselves with single-action and bolt-action rifles not outlawed by the government. Australian gun grabbers are now targeting one-shot and bolt-action rifles, stating that it only takes one bullet to kill somebody, which is true. I'm not arguing with that point that it only takes one bullet to kill somebody. But the point in this is they're never satisfied. They're not going to be satisfied with your high-capacity magazines. They're not going to be satisfied with, quote, assault rifles. Most of these politicians don't even know what assault rifle actually is. They're just trying to ban your gun. So stand up, because you may not have a gun or you may not see a use for such things such as an AR-15 or an AK-47, but just keep in mind it was incremental. We went from 1996 and now 2013, and Australia's pretty much disarmed, or at least that's what they're trying to do. So how long is it going to take here in the U.S.? Stand up for your rights. Do not let them take them away. Now, in other not even gun-related news, school will not back down over 5-year-old girl's bubble gun terroristic threat. Yes, they are now calling 5-year-olds terrorists. Well, the TSA already does that. But let's take a look at this article and see what it has to say. School officials reportedly categorized the incident as a terroristic threat and labeled the girl's action as a threat to harm others. Superintendent Bernard Steller of Mount Carmel School at first suspended the girl for 10 days before reducing the punishment to 2 days. All this came after an interrogation that lasted several hours, at which the girl's parents were not present. The girl's attorney says that the offending threat that was overheard by an adult is something along the lines of, I'm going to shoot you, you can shoot me, and we can all play together. So we have a clip of the so-called terroristic threat from the local news, and let's take a look at that.
Was this the weapon of choice for a new kind of terrorist? Terror by Bubbles, the small pink Hello Kitty toy gun, is an automatic bubble blower. But just days ago, when a 5-year-old girl said she and a classmate should shoot each other with bubbles, the school called it a terrorist threat. The school took this so seriously that administrators even ordered that the 5-year-old receive a psychological evaluation.
Keep in mind, they're trying to put this on the girl's permanent record, so I'm not exactly sure what can be used with this. So they say, well, this girl's been a terrorist since she was 5 years old. She can't join the military if that's what she chooses to do. Or they may say she can't own a real firearm someday. But to be fair to the superintendent and the other people at Mount Carmel, bubbles are a dangerous substance, and there have been cases where people have actually been threatened with them. So let's take a look at this clip of an officer who is trying to defend himself and his fellow officers from bubbles. Let's take a look.
If a bubble touches me, I'm going to be arrested for assault. Do you understand me?
Bubbles.
Yes, that's right. It's a deliberate act on your behalf. I'm going to arrest you. Do you understand me? Right, you're going to be in handcuffs. All right? You either knock it off with the bubble, you touch me with that bubble, you're going into custody. Right?
I'm putting it away.
Right, thank you.
But I would also like to know...
You want to bait the police. You throw that on me or that other officer, and it gets in her eyes. It's a detergent. You'll be going into custody.
I understand.
Do we understand each other?
I do.
And put it away.
I am doing that at this moment.
Right.
I really appreciate
Discussion's over.
If we could treat me with a bit of respect.
I just did. I just did. You got what you deserve. You got my respect. Right?
I don't feel very respected. I'm just...
That's terrible.
Trying to keep people happy.
My heart bleeds.
Mine too.
So you see the guy right there, you got what you deserved. I mean, the guy looks like a big, intimidating, tough guy. I mean, I guess there were no bank robberies or drug deals or kidnappings or rapes or beatings or anything else that could have been done that day that, you know, maybe had precedence over a bubble protest, you know, this dangerous bubble weapon. I'm just curious, does anybody know what happened to that girl? Do we have a clip of that? Oh, okay. She got arrested. So while Bubble Girl is getting arrested, the drug dealers and, you know, the pimps and the human traffickers are all running around. But that's, I guess that's no deal. And that happened, in 2010. So, hey, not a big deal. You got Bubbles, that's a terroristic threat, but hey, everybody else can run wild. So in a similar story, not so much Bubbles, but with schools and other shenanigans, elementary school girl threatened with arrest over paper gun. A South Philadelphia elementary school student was searched in front of classmates and threatened with arrest after she mistakenly brought a paper gun to school. When a school administrator found the piece of paper, I'm glad they admit it's a piece of paper, Valentine was verbally chastised in front of the whole class and, according to her mother, even threatened with arrest. And the article goes on to mention some other instances of complete overreaction. You guys have heard the stories of people bring a Nerf gun to school and they lock down the school over a green-orange gun, and people call the cops on kids playing in their front yard, pointing fingers at each other. Complete ridiculousness. These kids don't even have real guns, and people are freaking out. Just the mere notion, the thought of some type of potential firearm, and people just freak out. It's completely ridiculous and over the top. They try to say we're fear mongers, threatening of some type of tyrannical government. I think that a government that has something like the Patriot Act, the NSA, the National Defense Authorization Act, drones, that's not tyrannical. But you know, things such as paper guns and bubble guns, those are the real threats to your and your family's personal safety.
Visit Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the site, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want.